Okay, imagine, just for a second, you could hold a Caribbean vacation in the palm of your hand.
Oh, I like where this is going.
And I don't mean like a brochure or one of those little paper umbrellas. I
Right.
mean
Yeah.
the actual feeling. The sunlight on the water, that turquoise color that just makes your shoulders drop.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that feeling was a solid thing. Imagine it was a stone.
That is a very, very specific image. But looking at the stack of research we have today, it's honestly the most accurate way to describe this stuff.
We are taking a mental trip to the Dominican Republic today. We are looking at Larimar.
Which technically is a rare blue pectolite for anyone keeping score at home.
Exactly, and the pictures are stunning. It literally looks like solidified ocean water. But here's the hook and why we're doing a whole deep dive on it.
Yeah.
The sources claim this isn't just a pretty gem. They describe it as an antidote to modern hustle culture.
Which is a pretty big claim for a silicate mineral. But the literature is fascinating because it's such a contrast.
Oh, so?
Well, we usually talk about stones that are about power or energy amplification, very active, very yang energy.
Right, like armor.
Exactly. But Larimar is framed completely differently. Its whole function is described as cooling and soothing. It's about the absence of fire and friction.
An absence of fire and friction is something I think we could all use a little more of right now.
For sure.
So our mission today is to unpack why this specific stone, which is only found in one place on Earth, is being called the Stone of Oceanic Peace.
And what it teaches us about what the sources call conscious earth healing. There's a really deep philosophy in this little blue stone that I'm excited to get into.
So let's dive in, pun fully intended. I want to start with the geography because the rarity here is a huge deal, right?
Oh, it's a massive deal. The rarity cannot be overstated. Larimar is found in only one location in the entire world.
Which is?
A single remote mountain range in the Dominican Republic. We're talking about an area of about 1 square kilometer. That is it. You can't get it anywhere else.
Wow. Okay, so that really sets the stage. And the look of it, the notes say it ranges from pale sky blue to deep turquoise.
It really does evoke water, sky, breath. It's got that soft, kind of cloudy look to it, almost like white foam on a wave.
Which I'm sure is why they call it the Stone of the Caribbean.
That and my personal favorite, the Dolphin Stone.
Dolphin Stone is great. It sounds so playful. But here's where it gets weird for me. The history versus the vibe. According to our geological sources, it was only rediscovered in 1974.
Correct, which in the world of mineralogy is basically yesterday. We're used to talking about things used for thousands of years.
But the sources all say that even though it's new to us, everyone who holds it says it feels ancient.
That paradox comes up over and over again.
Yeah.
And that connects directly to one of the most intriguing parts of its lore.
Let me guess. Atlantis.
You got it. The lost civilization enters the chat.
It always does with these mysterious blue stones, doesn't it?
It really does. But we have to be nuanced here. The source isn't presenting this as, historical fact.
Right. We haven't found the city.
No. It's framing it as a symbolic association. People who worked with Larimar report sensing a memory beyond recorded history.
So it's less about like a map to a sunken city and more about tapping into a forgotten way of being.
Exactly. It's an anchor to a concept. The Atlantis connection represents a time when we weren't fighting against the planet or ourselves, a lost wisdom of flow.
I like that. That makes sense. And it actually leads perfectly into what I think is the biggest aha moment in this whole stack.
The philosophy of ease.
The philosophy of ease. It sounds suspicious to my modern brain.
It's pretty radical when you actually unpack it.
Yeah, because we're raised on no pain, no game, the hustle. If you're not exhausted, you're not working hard enough. But Larimar supposedly teaches the exact opposite.
It completely challenges that whole paradigm. One of the lines that really stood out to me was, growth does not require suffering.
Whoa. Say that again?
Growth does not require suffering.
I feel like I need to tattoo that on my forehead. We're so conditioned to believe that if it doesn't hurt, it's not working.
Think about diamonds. Formed under immense pressure. We glorify that. But Larimar suggests that growth can happen through softness, trust, and flow.
Okay, but how does that actually work? I mean, if you're not pushing, how do you move forward? I think a lot of people listening would think, if I'm soft, I'll just get run over.
And that's the fear, right? But think about how we solve problems. We force things. We push. The text says that unlike methods that push for change, Larimar dissolves boundaries.
Dissolves. That's a very different word.
Think of water. Water is incredibly powerful, but it doesn't break a rock by hitting it once like a hammer.
It flows around it or wears it down over time.
Exactly. It's persistence and cooling, not heat and force. The source states it promotes being rather than doing.
Being rather than doing. I don't think I have a being slot scheduled in my calendar this week.
Most of us don't. And that's why the source argues this stone is so necessary right now. It's a counterbalance. If your life is all fire, you need some water.
Okay, so let's get practical. Who is this actually for? The source has a pretty specific list of symptoms, I guess.
It does. It's like an emotional first aid kit for the burnout generation. It specifically cites people experiencing depression or emotional flatness.
Flatness is such a good word for it. It's not always sadness, it's just apathy. That feeling where you can't be bothered to care.
Yes, that gray zone. But it also addresses the other end over criticism.
Of yourself or other people?
Both. That tendency to judge yourself too harshly or to be critical of everyone around you.
Which I think we all do when we're stressed out.
For sure. And this is where that cooling effect comes in. The source says Larimar has a vibration that dissolves fear, shock, and that long-held tension in your shoulders.
There's that word dissolving again.
It's the key verb. It's not about amplifying the emotion to get it out. It's about calming the waters so you can see clearly.
So the outcome is that you become less reactive.
Less reactive, more patient, more tolerant.
Yeah. There's one specific benefit here that I think is going to hit home for a lot of people. It talks about control issues.
Ah, yes. The control freak's kryptonite. This is huge.
So it helps quiet that urge to control or manipulate every single outcome.
Exactly. It encourages trusting the natural unfolding of life, realizing you don't actually have to steer every single wave. Trying to do that just exhausts you.
It's the anti-micromanagement stone.
In a way, yeah. It lets you float a little.
I like that. Now, what about the throat chakra? The notes say there's a strong connection there.
Yes, very strong. In the chakra system, the throat is all about communication. Larimar is strongly aligned there, and also with the heart.
And usually throat chakra makes me think of, like, public speaking.
Yeah.
But the source gets way more nuanced.
It does. It says it's for truthful self-expression without aggression.
Ooh, without aggression. That's the key part.
That's everything. So it helps the quiet people who struggle to speak their truth, sure, but it also helps those of us who tend to speak too harshly when we're stressed.
So it brings you to that calm, clear middle ground.
Precisely. It's the difference between shouting your truth and just stating it calmly. The second one is almost always more powerful.
That's a really good point. And what about for creatives? The notes mention artistic flow.
Yeah, again, back to that water metaphor. It helps ideas surface naturally instead of being forced out. It's for getting past that writer's block.
That painful feeling of staring at a blank page.
Exactly. Larimar is the reminder to just let it flow, to get out of your own way.
Getting out of your own way. I think that's the best summary yet. Okay, so what's the recipe? How do you actually use it?
Right. The guide suggests a few things. Meditation's a big one, just holding it while you sit.
Okay.
Wearing it is also highly recommended, especially as a necklace or pendant close to the throat or the heart.
That makes sense with the chakra connection.
And even just keeping it nearby during emotionally charged times, like on your desk during a stressful workday, just seeing it can be a reminder to be like water.
Now for the fun part, the pairings.
Yeah.
It's like a wine pairing menu, but for crystals.
It is. And they're really specific based on what you need. Because Larimar is so watery, sometimes you need to balance that out.
Okay, so let's say I'm feeling a little too floaty. All flow, no direction.
Then you'd pair it with Smokey Quartz. Smokey Quartz is a grounding stone. It helps anchor Larimar's light so you don't just drift away.
Anchors the piece into reality.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. What if I want to double down on the calm communication part?
Then you look at aquamarine. They're both blue, watery stones, so they amplify each other. Or if anxiety is the main issue, blue lace agate is listed for specifically easing that nervous tension.
Nice. And for the heart stuff, for working on that over-criticism.
Rose quartz, that's the classic. Combined with Larimar, it deepens compassion and self-kindness. It's a very gentle, nurturing combination.
And there was one more, celestate.
Celestate, yeah. That's for when you want to go up, not down.
Mm-hmm.
For deep meditation, it amplifies peace and that connection to higher guidance.
So you can really build a toolkit.
Exactly. The goal is to be calm and effective, not so calm that you become passive.
Calm and effective. That's the dream. Oh.
Okay, before we wrap, we need to circle back to the environmental context.
Yes, the rarity. The fact that it's only from that one tiny spot in the Dominican Republic.
And the source notes that mining has become really restricted there to protect the environment.
Which is so important. It means there's a finite amount of this stuff in the world.
So it's not something you're going to find in every gift shop forever.
No, and the text suggests this scarcity reinforces the stone's role. It isn't a mass-produced mineral. It's a guardian of Earth harmony.
So we should treat it with a bit more respect.
Exactly. It makes the relationship with it more intentional.
That brings us to the end of our stack. Honestly, this has been a really refreshing deep dive. I feel calmer just talking about it.
It has. It's nice to focus on something that asks for less from us, not more.
So to recap for everyone listening, Larimar is this incredibly rare Caribbean blue stone that acts as a tool for cooling down our overheated, hustle-focused lives.
It's about speaking your truth without the anger, dissolving boundaries instead of smashing them, and accepting that life doesn't have to be a struggle to be meaningful.
And that big shift from doing to being is really the whole point. It's about adopting a mindset of flow.
A shift I think we could all practice.
You know, before we go, there's one thought that stuck with me from that whole Atlantis connection.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Well, when we think of lost civilizations, we fantasize about their advanced technology, right? Flying machines, energy sources.
Totally sci-fi stuff.
But what if the lost knowledge that Larimar holds isn't complex technology, but simply the ability to live in a state of flow and trust?
That's a really powerful thought.
It just makes you wonder, are we all struggling so much simply because we've forgotten how to be soft? Maybe the most advanced technology we lost was a state of mind.
The lost technology of softness. That is definitely something to think about. Thanks for listening to this deep dive. We'll see you next time.